guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I really do appreciate your time. I just wanted to come on here really quickly and talk about this viral tweet that I'm seeing that is now going viral on Facebook, and definitely in like a lot of my femininity like Facebook group spaces that I'm in. So basically the tweet is, this girl puts her tweet and then she puts a screenshot of a picture of a conversation that she's having with a guy that was supposed to come over her house. She asks him to help her install a paper towel dispenser. And then maybe she responded to him and like asked him, because we can't see her part of the conversation. So she at some point then responds back to him, I'm guessing after they have planned to see each other or plan and chill or whatever. And she asks him, can you help me, on some, hey, you're coming over, hey, I need help with this. Might as well ask the man I'm clearly having some type of relationship with, whether they're sleeping together or not. That's not really indicated in the tweet. This is a man that I see, right? That I'm seeing, that I'm dating, I guess. So she's like, oh, well, I might as well ask him to come over and help me with this little project. Well, he basically tells her, oh, I'm freaking out. I've never had anyone else ask for help, and no one has ever helped me in my life. So for these reasons, I'm just not gonna come over and good luck with your life. I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, like, this is really I feel for women dating today, specifically when it comes to areas like this, because so many times see these types of conversations and examples, just when they go viral in general on social media. And I can honestly say that I don't know what I would do if I was single and dating nowadays, because I am one of those women who is attracted to traditionally masculine men, that have skills and abilities, and know how to work on cars and know how to fix, things in the house. I like when men know how to fix things when they go wrong. That is an attractive trait to me, right? I just see a lot of women disclosing that they're not running into a lot of those type of men nowadays. I just think it's really sad. I mean, he's freaked out. I would be freaked out. Like a paper towel dispenser, you can't help me and install a paper towel dispenser? You're most likely coming over here because you want sex, so you can't help me complete this little project? Like, that's insane. But I will say this, to kind of play devil's advocate here, I think a lot of this has to do with a few different things. There's like a twofold sort of thing to this, right? I think a lot of women have been instructed by third wave feminism and a lot of other groups to not value when men are masculine, or should I say traditionally masculine, cishet, traditionally masculine. They would then most likely have these abilities to be able to do these things and to not be intimidated by a task like this. A lot of times these movements teach women to devalue those traits in men and to seek them for themselves. And genuinely, if that's who you are as a woman, and if that is something that's not important to you as a woman, then have at it. That's your choice. But I think with that being the case, and with a lot of men not having proper leadership in their lives to teach them these skills, right, to make them available to them, you cannot know how to do something if no one teaches you. Like, that's just the bottom line. Whether reading, writing, that's why we go to school. That's why we go to college. That's why we have trainings. Unless it's like a natural inclination. Like, some people do have it and they can just jump right in and they can sort of like teach themselves and acquire skills through them just practicing it, because it's something they naturally have an inclination to. But for the most part, if no one teaches you how to change a tire, you're not going to know. Like, these are things that you typically have to learn from someone who knows how to do it. And if you don't have access to a man, in most cases, that can teach you as a young child, as a young boy, how to do it, then you're not going to know how to do it. And if you grow up in a society like our current one, where gender is very undefined, by some people are trying to really chip away at those binaries. And while I think a lot of people try to act as if it's not important to them or it's not something they value, I think at the end of the day, a lot of people kind of naturally fall back into those expectations because they in some ways are natural to us based off of our gender. The last point I wanted to make is I am a traditional woman. So I am the sort of woman who is traditional and my own behavior and my own expectations. And that is why I expect a traditionally masculine man. I will say what I tend to realize is people tend to value traditionalism, or they uphold traditionalism when it comes to them benefiting from it. So men value traditionalism when it comes to women cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the house and taking care of the kids. But when traditionalism requires something from them, that's when they tend to like slide out. Same thing with women. Women tend to value traditionalism when it comes to getting their bills paid, having things fixed in their house, and having access to skills that a man can do and his actual physical strength as well. But when it comes to cooking and cleaning and submitting and, you know, all that sort of stuff, they kind of bow out of that. I think people need to start really evaluating again what it is that they really want to do and what it is they can actually reciprocate and do, and then going after those people. Because when I was single and I was dating, I'm going to reciprocate and act a certain way in a relationship. And so if I'm dating a guy and through our conversations and him talking, he's like saying things to me like, oh, well, I don't value this, or, you know, I don't really know how to do that. Or if I go over his house, he doesn't own any tools, or, you know, when things go wrong, he's just kind of sitting there like me, like, oh, I don't know what to do. That's not someone for me. So I'm not going to continue to date that type of man and then expect him to act like a traditionally masculine man. And then when he doesn't, I shame him. Once I realized that a guy was not traditionally masculine, I would just move on, you know, respectfully. You have to actually know what it is that you honestly want about yourself. What do you want? What's attractive to you? What is it that you think your ideal partner has to have? And I'm not talking about superficial things. I'm talking about the things that are actually going to be important to you. Once you have identified those things, then you will most likely be able to know who to go after and who not to go after, especially once you get to the point where you're talking and, like I said, those ideas come out and you have some time around them to observe their behavior. How do they respond? You know, if you're a man that likes traditional feminine women, is she the type that's going to serve you your food? If that's something that's genuinely important to you and you see that that's not her inclination, don't shame her. Don't try to change her. Don't try to force her. Let her go and move on to the next young lady. Vice versa with a man. If you are really into a man who holds doors open and pulls out your chair and, you know, steps on the other side of the street when your guys are walking closest to the curb, if you're observing that that's not naturally how he is, then don't try to change him. Move on to someone who is naturally like that. I think that is really where people play themselves. I think that's really where people play themselves, trying to get grown adults to acquiesce to behaviors that they're not ever going to partake in. So that's all I have to say on this topic. Just date the people you actually want to date, okay? But yes, that's all I have to say. Please give my video a thumbs up before you go. Drop down in the comments and let me know, what are your dating experiences? What have you learned about yourself? What are your expectations in relationships? And have you gotten to the point where you are really zoomed in and focused on actually seeking what you actually want, instead of listening to social media dating coaches and other people tell you what your expectations should be? Let me know what your guys' reaction, and how would you feel if you were in a relationship with a man and you asked him to help you with a small project and he freaked out? Let me know in the comments what your reaction would be, okay? All right. Take care, guys. Bye.